Sairam. On the 2nd April 1984, a bunch of very excited and happy students along with a few teachers gathered in the bhajan hall of Prasanthi in Puttaparthi and soon entered that bhajan hall Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, our beloved Swami. Along with him was also Professor N. Kasturi. Swami had called all the students to specially bless them because they had completed a Parayanam or a deep study, a study circle of a very special literature. And therefore, as each student's name was called, he came forward and received from Bhagwan's divine hands a copy of the 4th part of the Satyam Shivam Sundaram. You know, the Satyam Shivam Sundaram is the biography of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Swami was giving out his own life story as a gift, and on the first page of every book was a personalized message written for each of the students, of course by Professor Kasturi, who is the author of this biography of Bhagwan, but at the end of it was a signature, "With love, Baba." What had these students done to deserve this special grace of Swami? As I said, they had completed a study circle, an intense study of one particular scripture, and that is the Vahini, the Vahinis of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. What are these Vahinis for which Swami rewarded them? And 1984 is also a very significant year when it comes to the Vahinis. 1984 was the last year when Swami wrote these Vahinis, and it almost looked like Swami was blessing these students and encouraging his students. When I say his students, I am not meaning students of the university, I am meaning students of Swami, to take up the study of this scripture, the Vahinis. What are these Vahinis? Again, that is the question that comes, right? They are a set of 318 articles that Bhagwan lovingly and painstakingly wrote for 26 years from 1958 till 1984. And they cover a range of topics. They cover everything that a spiritual aspirant needs. It is the modern day Veda. It is the modern day Upanishad. It is the modern day Brahma Sutras. It is the modern day Bhagavad Gita. It is a condensed, the most important and the most significant and the most valuable points gathered for us and presented in the most simple manner. You know, we all study for our examinations during our academics, but just before the exams, the most important points we get, right? We get a book, we call it a guide book, which gives us all the most critical and important points. That is what these Vahinis are. From 1984, they were all collated and collected into 16 different books, which have been called the Vahinis. Vahini means the flow. It's an incessant flow of the divine, so that it becomes a Vahana. A Vahana means a vehicle. A Vahini is a Vahana, a vehicle that takes us to our beloved Swami. And in this video, we will get a brief glimpse of these Vahinis and hopefully the inspiration to study them in depth and benefit immensely in our lives.
Prema
In one of his earliest public discourses, Swami has clearly delineated the way the Avataric mission would unfold. Swami says that the first 16 years would be the Leela phase, the divine pranks, the divine play, and therefore from 1926 to 1942 is all Leelas. Then Swami says will be the Mahima stage, the stage of miracles magnificent, the wondrous events which many will get to witness. And therefore from 1942 to 1958 is the Mahima stage. Swami then says that the next 16 years will be the Upadesh stage. Upadesh meaning the phase of teachings. And therefore 1958 marks the beginning of this Upadesh stage. It was in 1958 that Swami summoned Professor Kasturi, telling him, give up all that you are doing and now come, your time has come, you have to come and settle down in Prasanthi. You see, Professor Kasturi had first met Swami in 1948. At that time, in the first meeting itself, Swami had told him that once you retire, you can come and settle down with me, you will write my biography. This boy, who was just, what was his age in 1948? He's 22 years old. He's telling this to Professor Kasturi, who was a well-established professor in multiple languages. He had been conferred many awards, and that was in 1948. After having experienced Swami, Professor Kasturi wanted to come and settle with Swami as soon as possible, but Swami kept telling him, wait. When Swami says yes, he gives us what we want. When he says no, he gives us something better. When he tells us to wait, he gives us the best. So Professor Kasturi then had a stint as a principal. Then he also had a stint in the All India Radio, the national radio broadcasting of India. In fact, he is the one who named it Akashavani, the voice from the skies. And after that, in 1958, when Swami summoned him, Swami told him, we are starting a new magazine from the ashram. Guess what is its name? So Professor Kasturi came up with many names. Karma, Dharma, Prema, the path of love, different things. Swami said, no. Sanatana Sarathi, the eternal charioteer. And that is how in 1958, in February, during the Shivaratri, the first ever issue of Sanatana Sarathi was published. And in that, the first ever article written by Bhagawan officially got published. And that was the beginning of Prema Vahini. The first Vahini is Prema Vahini. Interestingly, today when we look at the book Prema Vahini, till chapter 18, there is no mention of the word Prema itself. Then what is this Prema Vahini? Prema Vahini doesn't mean that it's an exposition of love. Prema Vahini means it has flowed out of Bhagawan, it has flowed out, and Bhagawan is love. Anything that flows out of him is love. And that is why the first Vahini is called Prema Vahini. In fact, when we read the Prema Vahini, we see so much of emphasis that Swami places on character and spiritual pursuit. And as I said, the word Prema comes in the 18th chapter because it came out as a flow of love. The flow was so immense that it didn't just stop with Prema Vahini. In fact, Swami simultaneously began writing the Sandeha Nivarini and the Dhyana Vahini. Dhyana Vahini is on the nuances of meditation. It is such a perfect example, the perfect exposition. And Sandeha Nivarini, very interesting. It is written as a conversation between Bhakta and Bhagavan, between the devotee and God. And everything that bothers a true devotee has been beautifully resolved and solved, and it is an inspiration for any devotee to read this Sandeha Nivarini. All these three Swami was writing simultaneously, 3 articles every month till 1960. After that came Prashanthi Vahini, followed by Jnana Vahini, followed by Dharma Vahini. In the Prashanthi Vahini, Swami beautifully tells what is true Prashanthi. We often think Prashanthi is a geographical location in Andhra Pradesh, Puttaparthi. What is Shanti? What is Prashanthi? What is the difference between them and how to achieve Prashanthi? This is beautifully elucidated in the Prashanthi Vahini. Jnana Vahini is on knowledge, the path of Jnana, the highest way to achieve the ultimate. And of course, Dharma Vahini is the most amazing exposition on Dharma. We often get confused because there are so many dharmas. Dharma as a husband, dharma as a man, dharma as a brother, dharma as a citizen of the country, dharma as per my profession. Which dharma should I follow? How do I balance out? Oh, all of these will get resolved so amazingly. And I can personally vouch for this because among all the Vahinis, a few Vahinis that I have read, one of them is Dharma Vahini. It makes it very clear, and I'll give a hint how it does it. It differentiates between Paradharma and Atma Dharma, and once we understand this Atma Dharma and we stick to it, automatically everything gets resolved. We will realize when it is what Dharma that we should follow. Everything becomes very clear. So these were the next 3 Vahinis that came, after which the 7th Vahini that came is the Upanishad Vahini. Now this Upanishad Vahini is a masterful exposition on all the Upanishads. In fact, when on one occasion Professor Kasturi realized that Swami had not yet contributed his article from the Sanatana Sarathi, he went and stood at Swami's door. He was knocking there. And when Swami came, he said, Swami, time is already approaching for publishing. Because Sanatana Sarathi publishing was a very, very lengthy process. It was not like Control P where you just print and you send. He had to, Professor Kasturi first of all, did not know Telugu. It was not a language that he was conversant in. He knew the script because of his knowledge of Kannada. He learned Telugu. Swami would write in Telugu and he would transcribe the Telugu. After transcribing the Telugu, he had to translate the Telugu into English. After transcribing and translating, he had to type it on a typewriter. The 3 T's he performed: transcription, translation and typing. And then he had to travel all the way to Bangalore and get it made, printed, then send it, dispatch it to more than 3,000 of the subscribers. All this he had to do. So much work was there. And therefore, Swami, your article has to come in time. When Swami heard it, Swami said, oh, just wait a minute. And Swami walked across from the interview room to the opposite side. There's another room with a desk and a chair. Swami sat on the chair, 40 minutes non-stop, just without lifting the pen from the paper, without a single strike, without a single cut, nothing. Flawlessly, Swami wrote an exposition on the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, an exposition that would have made Yajnavalkya, the one who wrote the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, very proud and also very humble, because so condensed and yet containing all the profundity of that Upanishad. Swami gave it to Professor Kasturi and said, here it is, the article. Swami has put in his blood and sweat and toil into these Vahinis. Because, he needn't do this. He is the source of all the knowledge, all the Vedas, the Upanishads, everything. Why should he put that hard work? On one occasion when Swami was with Shri G.V. Subbarao Garu, another great scholar. In fact, G.V. Subbarao Garu's father, Gandikota Subramanya Shastri, he is the one through whom the Sai Gayatri mantra arrived. It just came out through him, burst forth through him. That story is a fantastic one, which is at this link above. And so this Gandikota Subbarao Garu was in discussion with Swami on the Taittiriya Upanishad. And this was another occasion when the article had not been submitted and Professor Kasturi came to Swami reminding him of the article. Swami said, oh, I have to give the article, right? Here you go. Swami waved his hand and out came the bunch of papers. Swami said, here is your article. That is the Swami. It just emerges from him. And yet, barring that one occasion, Swami every time sat and wrote, whether he was in Bombay, whether he was in Hyderabad, whether he was in Bangalore, whether he was in Africa, Swami made it a point to keep writing. For 26 years, he has done the sadhana. We know of devotees doing sadhana to reach the God. Here is God doing sadhana to reach out to his devotees. Wow, that is the magnificence of these Vahinis. The next to come were the Geeta Vahini, followed by the Prashnottara Vahini, and then the Bhagawatha Vahini. When you look at this, Geeta Vahini is the Bhagavad Gita. Prashnottara Vahini is again another very unique Vahini written in question-answer format. It is like a amazing refresher course which contains the summum bonum of all the scriptures and all the Vedas and Upanishads. And then the Bhagawatha Vahini is of course the Bhagavatam, the stories of the different avatars of Lord Vishnu, especially Krishna. After these came the biggest Vahini, the biggest one, the Ramakatha Rasa Vahini. The Ramakatha Rasa Vahini means the sweet nectar, the sweet essence of Rama's story. It's not just a Ramakatha, it is a Rasa Vahini. It is a sweet essence of Rama's story. And the Ramakatha Rasa Vahini was followed by Bharatiya Paramartha Vahini, which goes into the inner meaning of the Bharatiya culture. Later, this was transformed into the Sathya Sai Vahini. It was merged into the Sathya Sai Vahini because Sathya Sai is about the Bharatiya culture. Now, let me tell a little bit about the Ramakatha Rasa Vahini, because again, this is another that I have read from end to end. I always felt why do I need to read this? Because I know the Ramayana story through and through. But dear brothers and sisters, the Valmiki Ramayana is the way man sees God, Valmiki seeing God. The Tulsi Ramayana or the Kamban Ramayana is possibly the way a devotee looks at the Lord. But the Ramakatha Rasa Vahini is an autobiography. It gives us insights that we would have never had. I'll just give one example. We often think that Rama punished Sita because there was a washerman speaking ill about her, right? When we read the Ramakatha Rasa Vahini, we will see how Swami describes when this news reached him about this washerman speaking ill about Sita. The first thing Rama does is goes to Sita and tells her, Sita, I am very happy with you. What do you want? And Sita says, I would love to go on a tour to all the hermitages to meet the rishis and munis. And Rama says, so be it. And then, when Sita is gone, Sita is left in the forest and she has a brief moment of pain. And that is because it's an important message for Sita as well. There is an Avidya Maya and a Vidya Maya. Avidya Maya is the Maya, that is the delusion or illusion that comes because of ignorance. And Vidya Maya is this delusion that knowledge wisely, just like Swami puts on Maya, right? Swami also has Maya. But that is not Avidya Maya. It is with full awareness and knowledge that Swami does it, unlike us who are steeped in Maya because we are ignorant. So there's an Avidya Maya Sita, Vidya Maya Sita, and the interplay is beautiful. Please, you do read the Ramakatha Rasa Vahini to know more about it. I shall not reveal the suspense. But here, when Sita suffers a bit, that is because having yearned for only Rama, she accompanies Rama to the forest. But in the forest, she wants the golden deer. A Kama comes, desire. Because of which she loses Rama. When Kama comes, you lose Rama. She loses Rama and she gets an entire city of gold. Lanka is a city of gold. But she is not happy. Again she yearns for Rama, 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 Rama. And Rama crosses the forest, builds an army of bears and monkeys and rescues Sita. And gets back Sita and gets her union, and she is very happy. Now when again Rama asks what you want, having got Swami, when Swami asks what we want, we should say, Swami, we have everything, we have you, we need nothing else, right? That is what possibly Rama expected. And see, Mother Sita says, I want to go and tour all these hermitages. And that's why again desire has come and taken you away from Rama. And this is what Mother Sita realizes. And that is why in the end, when after Lava and Kusha defeat Lord Rama in battle, when Mother Sita meets Rama for the next time, she instantly merges into him saying, I don't want anything else but merger in you. But when Sita is left in the forest, at that time Swami writes a description of Ayodhya. Ayodhya is in a miserable state. There is flood and drought, all kind of calamities strike Ayodhya. It is in this time that the three queens, Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi, all three pass away. People are suffering. There is a lot of agony. It is not the golden age at all. It is the most terrible of times. In order to alleviate the suffering of the people, Lord Rama does the Ashwamedha Yajna. So now tell me, is Rama punishing Sita, who is very comfortable in Valmiki's ashram and immersed in the bliss of thinking of God? Or is he punishing Ayodhya for casting aspersions wrongly on a woman? This clarity emerged for me only from the Ramakatha Rasa Vahini. I have not gone into details of other Vahinis because I also am an aspirant wanting to read them. But this is something that I have read and I thought I will share with you. In 1982, the Sri Sathya Sai University, the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning came into existence. Not surprisingly, Swami wrote the Vidya Vahini, the flow of Vidya or true knowledge, Atma Vidya. And then came the Sutra Vahini on the Brahma Sutras. And finally, it all culminated with the Leela Kaivayla Vahini. That, dear brothers and sisters, is a brief introduction, a peep into this magnificent, glorious universe that the Vahinis of Sathya Sai are. Well, one might ask, when there are discourses of Bhagawan to hear, why do we need Vahinis? Well, discourses are something that Swami delivered orally. Seeing the people present there, it is a mixture. A discourse is a mixture of topics because he catered to all the beings seated in his presence there. whereas a Vahini is a focused, concentrated effort on one particular topic. And Vahinis were written by Bhagawan. Well, we might wonder, why do we need Vahinis when we have discourses? Bhagawan felt we need them. That is why, despite delivering more than 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 discourses, he also put in time, energy, effort, pains in writing these Vahinis. May we all be inspired to take up the study of these Vahinis. These Vahinis have brought great change. One instance I remember is how Dhyana Vahini brought about a miraculous transformation in one Mr. Moore in the United States. I will not tell that story now because it has been told very beautifully in this link above. So, let us take up the study of any Vahini. Let us read it, let us allow it to sink in, and let us allow it to sprout forth, inspire us, and become a Vahana, a vehicle in our journey to the lotus feet of Swami. That is the way we express our love to him. Dear Swami, may the love that we have for you in our heart keep growing every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.